Yeah, it's day 6 now of living in my car. Sorry I didn't post in the last couple days. I just, I've been a little irritated, a little depressed. It's depressing living in your car, so if I was kind of an asshole in the last video, I apologize for that because I was just like kind of snappy and everything. I'm getting more used to it now, and I'm going to center this video on how the expect us to beg for scraps and be happy about it. You know how they said you own nothing and be happy? They want us to beg for scraps. They want everything to be subscription based. Even cars now are starting to be subscription based, if you can believe that or not. Toyota, I believe, is implementing a system in their new cars where you have to pay a subscription for the car to even run. And if you don't pay the fucking subscription, the car won't even start. And it's like, what the fuck is that shit? It's ridiculous, man. I mean, they want to pay us like $20 an hour and then say, you see, what a great wage. Remember back when $15 and everyone wanted $15 an hour. Now you're getting 20, and that's just great. But even 20 isn't enough to fucking take care of yourself anymore. You got to be making like $25 an hour just to literally just to stay above the poverty line. You have to make like $25 an hour in the state that I'm in. And some states are even worse than the state I'm in. And if that didn't add insult, and if that wasn't insulting enough to add insult to injury, now they're clamping down on medications and making it impossible for people with anxiety to get their benzo medications because they did a new study, quote unquote, that said benzos could be dangerous. Oh my God. They've only been out for like 40 years now. You didn't fucking know that before, that they could like cause your breathing to slow down. But the thing is, I was on benzos for 10 years with Suboxone together, and I never had any issues. None whatsoever. Those studies, like a couple people died or something like that, and they always use that as an excuse. They say, well, one person died, and then, we got to keep you guys safe. It's for your own good. But Advil and aspirin kill like 40 people a year, so why don't you make that shit illegal too? It's all about money, and it's all about consolidating power. That's all it is. Benzodiazepines kill less people than aspirin every year, but hey, we found out that benzos and Suboxone or opioids together can stop you from breathing, so we're not going to prescribe them to anybody anymore. Well, fuck all that, because Hello. How are you doing today, MRV RFS-56? Hope you're good. I'm just sitting here in my car. It's day 6 of me being homeless, and I'm talking about how the elite expect us to beg for scraps and be happy about it, how cars have a subscription-based model now where the car won't even start unless you pay a subscription for it. Who the fuck's going to buy a car like that? Nobody, that's who. And then you got the benzodiazepine issue where they did a study, quote-unquote, and all this opioid crisis, I realize this, all this whole opioid crisis thing has been about is consolidating more power. All these issues that they have where they say, we got to do this, we got to suppress this, or make this illegal to keep you safe. It's all about consolidating more power, because what happens? You can't get benzos now, and if a doctor tries to prescribe them to you, they can just shut them down, take their license. It's not the doctor's fault that they're not prescribing you benzos. It's the state, because I found out, I've had doctors tell me this before, the state will write them threatening letters if they don't, let's see here, literally 1984. Yeah, I know, right? It's literally I don't even think 1984 was as bad as this, because George Orwell in his wildest dreams could not have predicted AI. He couldn't have predicted cameras on every single corner. He had the TVs that watched you in your own home, but I mean, we have that, but then we have the cameras on every corner. We have satellites that can monitor you from anywhere in space. Your phones, which track everything you do. Anything you do on your phone can be tracked, recorded, and kept indefinitely forever. Never forget that. They track everything you do, and they say, oh, it's to advertise. No, it's to keep tabs on everybody and see who's a problem and who's not. But I don't care, dude. Like, I'm just fucking sick of it. I just, I hope Gen Z rebels. I do. I really do. I hope they revolt. I'm a millennial, so I just let someone else take care of it. I just sit here in my car and I say, you know what? Wherever I go, there I am. My way of rebelling is to just not care about anything in the system and to just sit here and hit my vape and just chill and make videos, because God will provide for me. God always provides for me. So I really don't care. If I don't want to go to work, I'm not going to go to work. If I want to work and make money, I will. but it's like they expect you to beg for scraps now because they pay you like 18 to 20 bucks an hour, but the poverty line now is so ridiculously high, it's like 25 bucks an hour just to stay above the fucking poverty line. Who the fuck wants that? Nobody. That's who. How you guys doing? I hope you're all good today. I am Gen Z. We don't know shit. We can't do anything. It all depends. And so some Gen Z is split. I've noticed some Gen Zers can't take care of themselves or do anything, but others I've seen are the hardest working, most dedicated people, and they can hold like 2 jobs and juggle all these different tasks, and they're really intelligent. An example of that is Rudyard, What If Old Hist, and how he started that YouTube channel and made a shitload of money off of it. He's got, if you've never seen What If Old Hist, he talks about like real issues that people go through, and his channel is very interesting. Can you talk about how we are being controlled by Israel? Oh yeah, that. Yeah, so you pay your taxes, and if you don't, you have to pay your fucking taxes, because if you don't, you go to jail for a long time. I pay my taxes every year. I fill out that form every year because I don't want to go to jail, right? It's simple as that. But then they say, well, it's for roads and it's for services like the fire department and shit like that. But then they send 30 billion of it to Israel for no good reason. Literally, what's the reason? Oh, because Israel is our ally. Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. What I think it is, I'm not all for the whole Jewish conspiracy like a lot of people are. I believe more that the Catholic Church runs the world, and the order of control and hierarchy in the world goes like this. You have people, because like back in the old days, you had serfs, you had peasants, you had the, what are they called? The bishops, the priest class, and then you had like the royal council that was around the king, and that advised the king, and then you had the king. So who is everybody? The serfs are us, the 99.9% of people that don't have shit. The priest class is the people with like more than, I'd say, $10 million who have some influence in politics, and the people that run the corporations, because corporate alliances and politics go hand in hand through lobbying, as I'm sure you guys know. Damn, I'm talking so much my voice is getting hoarse. But yeah, so like, you know how they do things, like a CEO might be running a company one year, but then he might like donate to a lobbyist or like to a lobby fund, and then be in politics, maybe like say be the president of big oil, like a big oil company, and then be the president, and then stop being the president, go back to being the CEO of that big oil company, or be president of a company that does construction like Halliburton, and then be the vice president the next minute. They rotate in and out of office, so they go hand in hand. They are the same people. So the politicians and the rich are the priest class. Who runs them? Obviously the banks. But who runs the banks? The banks are not at the top of the food chain. They're the robber barons. The robber barons are like the high priest class that control the money and all the wealth in society. But above them is like the secret societies, like Skull and Bones and the Knights Templar. Illuminati is just a front thing, because, they have to tell you everything they do. That's one thing I noticed. That's why you see this shit in movies. You see things like, before... I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube without getting like, censored, but like, the 11th day of a certain month in 2001, I think you know what I'm talking about. Back in the 90s, they had like all these movies and stuff that showed shit just like that. And then you had that Simpsons episode, $9 next to the Twin Towers, which spelled out 9/11 on the magazine. That's not an accident. They have to tell you what they're going to do in the future. So they do that, and then beyond, so then they tell you about the Illuminati. That's what I was getting to. They tell you about the Illuminati. The Illuminati is their way of telling you that secret societies exist, but the Illuminati isn't really much of a secret society because everyone knows about it. So how can it be a secret society, right? It's common sense. Then beyond that, you have the Jesuits. The Jesuits are the bishops, the people that are surrounding the king, the high council. They're the people that advised the king in old days. They are the leaders of the Catholic Church, surrounding the true emperor, the king of the world, which is the Pope. The Pope controls the world. I fully believe this 100%. Other people believe it too. You can look up Pope Controls the World on YouTube and find videos on it. But the Jesuits are the ones who run these schemes and run these secret societies, and they answer to the Pope. and the Pope is the one who makes all the big decisions, and he's the true like emperor of the world. There was a video I saw years ago where, like, you know how in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the Emperor arrives on the Death Star and they play the Imperial music and he's talking to Darth Vader? Well, they have something like that where the Pope gets off the plane and they're playing the same music, and the Pope's advisor is talking to him, but they're playing Palpatine's voice when the Pope's talking, and it's just so fitting, man, because that's how it works. So I've been talking for about 10 and a half minutes now. I'm going to go out on a high note and leave it here because I feel like I've talked about everything I need to talk about in this video today. They want you to beg for scraps, but the way I look at life today is wherever I go, there I am. Whatever happens, it'll be okay. I just believe in God and Jesus. I believe God and Jesus will take care of me, and they always do. Just have faith. Everything's going to be fine. So I'll see you guys later. You have a great day, and yeah.